Welcome everyone. Today we are diving into something truly mind-blowing. Rewiring your brain and learning how to control your thoughts. In this video I am going to talk to you through some simple yet powerful ways to start taking control of your thoughts, building new habits and transforming the way your mind works so you can lead to happier, more focused life. Whether it's through the small mindset shift, meditation, or even gratitude, these strategies are backed by neuroscience and they work. So let's get started. You know how sometimes we get stuck in the negative thought pattern or find it hard to break bad habits. Like no matter how hard we try, we always find ourselves going back to those same old routines. It feels frustrating, right? Well, our brains are not rigid as we think they are. They are not stuck in one way of doing things forever. They can change, adapt, and even form new way of thinking. Isn't that amazing? This is where something called neuroplasticity comes in. I know it sounds like a big, complicated word, but it's actually really cool once you break it down. Neuroplasticity just means our brain is capable of changing its structure and functioning depending on what we are learning and experiencing. So if you are thinking your brain like a field of dirt, each time you have a thought or do an action is like walking a path in the field. The more you walk that path, the clearer and more defined it gets. But if you decided to stop walking that path, the brain slowly lets it fade away. And if you are start walking a new path, even if it's difficult at first, eventually it becomes easier and more natural. So if you are like me and you have had moment where you are battling the same negative thought over and over again, like I am not good enough, or I am going to fail. The good news is that you can actually change those patterns. You are not stuck in them for forever. It's not going to happen overnight, but with time and practice, you can create a new path. Once that helps you think more positively, be more productive, or break out of old habits. Think of this like a fresh start for your brain. Imagine being able to retrain your brain the same way you might retrain your body at the gym. And trust me, if you put in the work, you start noticing these changes. Okay, so let me tell you a bit about how this happens. You see, every time you have a thought, there is this electrical signal that zooms through your brain. Kinds of like a message being sent down a highway. If you keep thinking the same thoughts, especially negative ones, you are basically making that highway super smooth and fast. The brain is like it when things are easy, so it just keeps going down that path. But if you can catch yourself in those moments that decide to change the thoughts, you start redirecting that traffic. It's like building a new road. At first it's rough and unpaved. Your brain is like, what is this? We have never gone this way before. But the more you use this new path, the smoother it gets. And eventually it becomes the brain preferred way of thinking. Here is a little trick that helps. Just try to be more aware of your thoughts throughout the day. Like when you catch yourself thinking, I am so bad at this, stop for a second. Ask yourself, is that really true? Then try to flip into the something more realistic but positive, like I am learning and getting better each day. At first it might feel forced or fake, but give it time. The more you do it, the more your brain will start believing on this. And this works for habits too. We all have habits we would love to break, right? Maybe it's procrastinating or checking social media every 5 minutes. Well, habits are your brain way of saving energy. It's like, why think about this? I will just go on the autopilot. But here is the cool part. You can rewire those habits as well. I remember hearing a story about someone who wanted to start exercising regularly, but they just couldn't stick on it. So instead of trying to work out for an hour each day, right from the start, they decided to start really small, like ridiculously small, just 5 minutes of exercise a day. It seemed to so easy that they couldn't say no to for that. And guess what? Over time, those 5 minutes turned into the 10 and then 20, and before they knew it, they had built a solid habit. Their brain adopts to these new routines and it becomes second nature. And that's how powerful a small change can be. When you meditate, your brain basically training your brain to be more aware of your thoughts and feelings. The more you practice, the better you get at noticing when your mind is wandering off into negative or unhelpful thoughts. And when you catch those moments, you can gently bring your focus back to something else, like your breathing or the present moment. It's such a simple practice, but it can completely change the way your brain reacts to the stress and anxiety. I was reading about the meditation. So meditation can even physically change your brain. There is this part of your brain called prefrontal cortex, which is involved in decision making and staying focused. And meditation can actually make it more stronger. At the same time, it helps calm down the amygdala, which is a part of your brain that makes you freak out when you are under stress. So not only are you more focused, but you are also less reactive to a stressful situation. And if meditation feels too intimidating, start small. Set a timer for 5 minutes, close your eyes and just focus on your breathing. Every time your mind wanders, trust me, it will, just bring your attention back to your breath. No pressure, no judgment, no practice. Over time, you will notice that it becomes easier to control your thoughts and you will feel more in charge of your mind. Now, another way to rewire your brain is by focusing on positive thinking and gratitude. Now, another way to rewire your brain is by focusing on positive thinking and gratitude. I know it sounds a bit glitch, but there is a real science behind it. You see, when you constantly focus on what's going wrong in your life, your brain starts to default to that negative thinking mode. But when you make an effort to notice the good thing, even the small stuff, you are training your brain to look for more positive things. It's like a shifting your perspective. One more thing that really plays a huge role in brain rewiring is sleep. Seriously, sleep is like magic for your brain. When you are asleep, your brain is busy sorting through everything you learned that day, cleaning up toxin and strengthening the connection you have already made. I used to think I could get by on just a few hours of sleep, but I have learned that if I really want to improve my thinking and focus, I need to prioritize sleep. When you don't sleep enough, it's like trying to drive a car with low fuel. Everything becomes harder, slower, and less efficient. So if you are trying to rewire your brain and get control over your thoughts, make sure you are getting enough good night sleep. Aim for solid 7 to 8 hours. And of course, learning new things is another way to keep your brain sharp and adaptable. Every time you learn something new, Whether it's a skill, a fact, or language, your brain forms new connections. Even visualizing your goal, literally closing your eye and imagining yourself achieving something, can help rewire your brain. It sounds a bit strange, but your brain does not always know the difference between something that vividly imagined and something that really happened. So when you visualize success or a goal, your brain starts building a new neuronal pathway as if you are already on your way to achieving it. It's like preparing your brain for a future. Lastly, I can't stress enough how important it is to surround yourself with the positive people. The people around you affect your mood, your mindset, and even the way your brain functions. If you are continuously around negative people, it's so much harder to break out of negative thinking pattern. But if you are surrounded by supportive, positive people, it makes rewiring your brain and much better and easier way. So yeah, all of this is possible. Rewiring your brain is not some far off impossible goal. It just takes a practice and consistency. The best part is you don't have to do it all at once. Start with the small changes, notice your thoughts, practice gratitude, get more sleep, try meditation, and slowly you will start to feel shift. Your brain is on your side, it just needs a little push in the right direction. Now, let's dive a bit deeper into some of these concepts and explore how we can apply them in our daily lives. We have talked about the neuroplasticity and how our brain can change, but what does this mean for us in practical terms? Think about a time when you learn a new skill like riding a bike or playing an instrument. At first, it seems impossible, right? Your brain was struggling to make sense of all new information and movement. But with the practice, it became easier and easier until you could do it without even thinking. That's neuroplasticity comes into play the role. Your brain literally rewires itself to accommodate this new skill. The same principle applies for our thoughts and emotions. If you are ever struggle with anxiety or negative self-talk, you know how overwhelming it is. It's like your brain is stuck on the loop, playing the same worries over and over again. But here is the good news. Just like you learn to ride a bike, you can learn to change this thought pattern. One technique that's really helpful is called cognitive restructuring. It's a fancy term for the challenging your thoughts. Next time you catch yourself thinking something negative, try to pause and ask yourself, is this thought really true? Is there evidence to support it? Is there another way to look at this situation? By doing this regularly, you are training your brain to approach situations more objectively and positively. Another powerful tool is mindfulness. We touched on the meditation earlier, but mindfulness is something you can practice throughout your day. Not just when you are sitting quietly with your eye closed. It's about being fully present in the moment, aware of your thoughts and feeling without judging them. For example, let's say you are stuck in the traffic and feeling frustrated. Instead of letting your mind spiral into anger or worry about being late, try to practice mindfulness. Notice the feeling of frustration in your body. Where do you feel it? In your chest or your hand gripping the steering wheel? Just observe this sensation without trying to change them. Notice the sight and the sound around you, the color of the cars, the sound of the radio, the feeling of your breath. By doing this, you are training your brain to step back from automatic reaction and choose how to respond. These kinds of mindfulness practice can have a profound effect on your brain. Studies have shown that the regular mindfulness practice can actually increase the density of the gray matter in area of your brain that associated with learning, memory, and emotional regulation. It's like giving your brain its workout, strengthening the area that help you stay calm and focused. Now, let's talk more about the habits. We all have the habit we would like to change, whether it's the snacking late at night, or procrastinating, or even spending too much time on the social media. The key to changing habits is understanding how they work. Every habit has three parts: a cue, a routine, and the rewards. The cue is what triggers the habit. The routine is the behavior itself, and reward is what your brain get out of it. Let's take a habit of checking your phone first thing in the morning. The cue might be waking up and seeing your phone on the nightstand. The routine is grabbing it and the scrolling through the social media. The reward might be dopamine hits you get from seeing new likes and messages. To change this habit, you need to keep cue and the reward but change the routine. So you could keep your phone in another room at night. When you wake up, which is the cue, instead of reaching for your phone, you could do a quick stretch routine or read a few pages of a book. The reward might be feeling more energized or accomplished. The key is to start small. Don't try to overhaul all your habits at once. Pick one habit to focus on and make tiny, manageable changes. Remember, it's not about the willpower, it's about the creating new neuronal pathway in your brain. The more you practice the new habit, the stronger those pathways become. Speaking of sleep, let's dive a bit deeper into why it's so crucial for brain health and rewiring. During sleep, especially during the deep stage of sleep, our brain goes through a process called memory consolidation. This is when our brain sorts through all the information you have taken during the day, strengthening important connections and pruning away less important ones. This process is crucial for learning and forming new habits. When you are trying to rewire your brain, whether it's learning a new skill, changing a habit, or shifting your thought pattern, good sleep is essential. Have you ever noticed how much harder it is to control your emotion when you are tired? That's because lack of sleep affects the prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for executive function like decision making and emotional control. As I mentioned before, when you are well rested, you are much better equipped to handle stress and making rational decisions. So how can you improve your sleep? First, try to stick to a consistent sleep schedule, even one weekend. This helps regulate your body internal clock. Create a relaxing bedtime routine, maybe some light stretching, reading, or meditation. Avoid screens for at least an hour before bed, as the blue light can interfere with your sleep hormones. And make sure your sleeping environment is cool, dark, and quiet. Now let's talk about the powerful of social connection in rewiring your brain. Humans are inherently social creatures, and our brain are wired for connection. When we interact with the others, especially in the positive way, our brain releases feel-good chemicals like oxytocin and serotonin. These chemicals not only make us feel good in the moment, that also contribute long-term brain health and plasticity. Moreover, our social environment has huge impact on our thought pattern and behaviors. If you are consistently around people who complain and focus on negative, it's going to be much harder to maintain a positive outlook. On the other hand, if you are surrounded yourself with the people who are supportive, optimistic, and growth-minded, it becomes easier to adopt those mindsets yourself. This doesn't mean you need to cut negative people out of your life entirely, but it does mean being intentional about who you spend most of your time with and whose opinions you give the most weight to. Seek out people who inspire you, who challenge you to grow, and who support your goals. Another powerful way to rewire your brain is through physical exercise. This is very important. It's not just good for our body, it's fantastic for your mind too. When you exercise, your brain releases the chemical called endorphins, which are natural mood boosters. It's like giving your brain a little happiness injection. But it's not just about the feeling good in a moment. Regular exercise can actually change the structure of your brain over time. It increases the production of new brain cells and process called neurogenesis, especially in the hippocampus, which is important for memory and learning. So by exercising, you are literally growing your brain. You don't need to become a gym rat or run marathon to get these benefits. Even the moderate exercise like a brisk 30 minutes walk a few times a week can make a big difference. The key is consistency. Find an activity you enjoy, whether it's dancing, swimming, or playing a sport, and make it regular part of your routine. Now let's talk about the power of learning new things. Every time you learn something new, whether it's language, a musical instrument, or a craft, you are creating new neuronal pathway in your brain. It's like you are building new roads and highway in your mind. Learning new things is especially powerful because it often involves multiple areas of your brain working together. For example, if you are learning to play the guitar, you are using your motor skill to move your fingers, your auditory processing to listen to the notes, and your memory to recall code and melodies. All these different parts of your brain are communicating and strengthening their connection. And the more you learn, the easier it becomes to learn new things. It's like your brain gets better at building these new pathways. So don't be afraid to step out of your comfort zone and try something new. Your brain will thank you for that. Now let's talk about the power of visualization. Athletes have been using this technique for years to improve their performance. But it's not just for the sport. You can use visualization to help rewire your brain or any goal you want to achieve. So here is how it works. When you vividly imagine yourself doing something, your brain activates many of those same neuronal pathways as you were actually doing it. It's like a mental rehearsal. So if you are trying to build a new habit or achieve a goal, spend some time each day visualizing yourself succeeding. Let's say you want to become more confident in public speaking. Close your eyes and imagine yourself standing on the stage, speaking clearly and confidently. Picture the audience listening attentively, nodding along with your words. Feel the sense of accomplishment as you finish your speech to applause. The more details and vivid you can make this mental image, the more powerful it will be. Over time, this visualization practice can help build your confidence and make the real things feel more familiar and less daunting. It's like you are creating a roadmap in your brain for the success. And lastly, let's talk about the power of curiosity. So cultivating a curious mindset can be powerful tools to rewire your brain. When you approach life with a curiosity, you are more open to new experiences and ideas. This openness creates more opportunity for learning and growth, which turns help to keep your brain flexible and adaptable. Try to approach each day with a sense of wonder. Ask questions, even about the things you think you already know. Look for the new perspective on the familiar situation. And this curious approach can help break you out of the rigid thinking pattern and open up new neuronal pathway. So now I would like to wrap up this. Rewiring your brain is a journey, not a destination. It's about the consistently making small choices that add up to big changes over time. Whether it's the Through meditation, exercise, learning new skill, practice gratitude, or cultivating curiosity, there are countless ways to take control of your thoughts and reshape your brain. Remember, your brain is incredibly adaptable. No matter your age or circumstances, you have the power to change your thought pattern and create new neuronal pathways. It takes time and the practice, but the result can be truly transformative and fruitful. So I encourage you to start small, pick one or two of these strategies and try to incorporate them into your daily routine. Be patient with yourself and celebrate the small victory along the way. Your brain is an incredible tool, capable of amazing transformation. By understanding how it works and actively engaging in practice that promote neuroplasticity, you are taking a powerful step towards creating the life and mindset you want. So thank you for watching and see you in the next video.